So I've heard an awful lot about her, but haven't met her in person, so I'm sure some of you don't know that either. So tell us a little bit about yourself then.
I'm Beth. I've been coming to St James's for quite a while actually. My grandma used to come here, and I lived just down the road in Dalston Road. And when I was about 14, I was doing my Bronze Duke of Edinburgh Award, and I had to do a 6-month service for part of that. So I managed to get into helping out with the Sunday school for doing that, and I stayed for 6 years. So a little bit more than 6 months, but yeah. I've just graduated uni as well. I was at Sheffield Hallam studying art, which was a most amazing experience, and I found a church in Sheffield that was just amazing, and I did things like I helped with their Sunday school. I led a Bible study for girls aged 10 to 12. There's a few of them, and it was called God's Gang, and we met every other week, and so it was leading Bible study with them. And they had something that was called Good News Cafe, which was run on Saturday mornings, and it was a free full English breakfast for homeless people. So I helped out doing things like that. And we had a student alpha as well, and I was a leader of one of the groups and things like that. So I got very involved, and it was an absolutely amazing time. And also, not the summer that we've just had, but the one before, I spent 3 months in America. I did 2 months working at Salvation Army camp, where my job title was Arts and Crafts Director, which I thought sounded quite posh. I didn't do that myself. Basically, I just ran the arts programme, so I was like, I ordered stuff and did gigs to kids. So I was a bit of an art teacher. They came in and I did have an hour or so, and several classes, and we just did things throughout the thing. And it was a bit tough because we had no supplies for a couple of weeks. I didn't even have any paper, so trying to do art with kids when you don't even have paper is quite tough. But I managed to find things through it, and obviously God helped me through it, and we did some great things. So that was really fun.
Yeah. What brought you back to St James?
Well, I finished uni, and I came back, and I was like, I really miss having the whole church surrounding and things like that. And I thought, I'm just going to come back and see. And I always used to go to the morning services because I was helping out with Sunday school, so obviously I'd leave and stuff. And I've started coming to the evening services, and I've just enjoyed them so much. They're just so peaceful and calming, and it's just a great way to end the week. It gets set up ready for the next week as well. I really do enjoy them. So yeah, that's pretty good.
Fantastic. So, there's a book that's been written called Everyone's Normal Until You Get to Know Them. So is there something about you that would surprise us?
Well, I was talking to my family about this question, and they came up with all sorts of different things. They were like, yeah, these are things that would surprise people about them. But there's a couple of them that I thought was quite significant. I love clothes and shoes mainly. I own about 70 pairs of shoes, so that's something my room, you can't, shoe boxes everywhere, it's pretty full. So that's something that a lot of people don't believe that's real. But yeah, I do own an awful lot of shoes. I'm a very fussy eater as well. But when I was really little, I used to wear a straw hat that my grandma gave me, and I had a silver handbag that was my great-grandma's, and I used to wear wellies, and I used to wear this all the time, and I sometimes would even wear my bright orange water wings, just going downtown and stuff. So we didn't go out very often, and understandably my parents weren't taking me places very often. But we very occasionally would go to McDonald's, and we didn't go very often, so it was like a real treat when we went. And a couple of times one time my parents 3 days later saw me in the car, and I just had my silver handbag, and I was eating something out of it, and they were like, "What are you eating?" I was like, "Chips." And I saved my McDonald's chips 3 days later because I was savouring the treat. So I don't think they're probably very nice. I definitely wouldn't do that now. But yeah.
That's definitely brilliant. So we've been looking at front lines. Yes. That's what we're looking at today. So what is your front line?
Well, my front line is, I've just started a new job working at Shoe in the Lanes, which is a shoe shop. And it is quite hard not spending all my wages in there, but it's quite useful because I do know a lot about shoes. But also, so a lot of the people that straight off I told them that I was a Christian, and on Sundays I couldn't work past a certain time, so I'd be able to come to the evening service. And this week especially, one of the managers has been coming up to me and asking me lots of questions about what I believe and why I believe things, and really, really interested. So that's one of my front lines. It's really useful kind of thing, because getting out to them and letting them know. And all my friends in Carlisle that I've had, none of them are Christian, so it's also a good thing, because they obviously know I go to church and things like that, and I talk about that. And also people that I'm meeting, I talk about things, because I am in the process of planning to go on a missions trip to Cape Town, South Africa for 6 months in January. So obviously that brings up a lot of opportunity to talk about things, because there's one of the charities, the main charity is called Mercy Aids, and they work with vulnerable and orphan children, and I'll be working with Resilient Kids South Africa, which is like a sister branch to it, which they deal with, obviously with the children and with the adults that look after them, and they like obviously think that it's like every child should have the space to grow and use all their God-given gifts and be able to become who they are. Because a lot of the children, they live in such impoverished, not nice places that they just lose their childhood and don't gain any of that back. So what Resilient Kids do is they put on things like Sunday schools and camps and holiday clubs and things like that, and they go and they work with the children and help them become children again and learn how to do things like that. And they also do training for the adults that look after them and things to help them with things, and also help them understand, because a lot of the children take HIV positive or have HIV, and they take their tablets, but when they're younger, because they're told to, but they're not really told about why they're taking them and things like that, so they educate the adults how to explain to the children why they're taking their tablets and things, so that they don't stop when they get older and things like that. But when I'm out there, what I'm going to be doing is working in the holiday camps and the Sunday schools and things like that, doing art with the children, because I did my art degree and I've done things like that before, so having like art lessons and just having fun, because I think art is a pretty amazing subject, because there is no right or wrong in art, so there's no way for the children to feel that they're not doing something right, so they can just express themselves, and it is a great way to express yourself without using words and things like that, so they can get all their feelings out and just have fun. When I was a kid, I always just used to enjoy fun, and enjoy art. It was just so fun, and it was something that anyone can get stuck into, even if you don't think you're very good at drawing. There's gluing and there's painting and there's all sorts of things, and you can just being creative is just something that I think all children have inside them, because they do have such an amazing imaginations. So I'm going to go out and do things like that. But also, the charity that one of the people that works for the charity actually went to university with my mum, and so she's like a close family friend, and she has said that she'd quite like me to train up a couple of people in, or like one person or something, in the way that I do art and things like that, so when I've gone, the things that I'm doing will still be able to be carried on once I've left, which I think is also amazing. It's a little bit scary, but it's also really amazing. But and also for circumstances, Barbara, who I'll be working with in Cape Town, is actually coming over to Carlisle this afternoon, and she'll be at the evening service, so if anybody does want to talk to her, we'll come into the evening service on Sunday, so she will be there if they've got any more questions about things. But yeah, so I'm just in the process now. It's quite good because I'm raising money for things, so I'm doing all sorts of different things, so meeting people and they ask you, oh, so what are you doing when you come back from uni? It's great for me to be like, oh, well, this is what I'm planning, this is how I'm doing it. And so I have been, I guess most of you saw it as you came in, there's a table like that. I've been making lots of things to sell, to raise money, to get me to Africa. They're selling an awful lot better than I thought, so obviously I shouldn't doubt the gifts that God's given me. But so yeah, there's things I'd like to sell if anybody's wanting to buy anything, and I've got order forms as well, like to write down things, because obviously if there's not very much people can order stuff through. And also I was thinking, like, what else can I do, because everyone always does sponsored things, and I'm the most unsporty person in the world. Like, I've got a lot fitter since I've been working at the shoe shop, because the stock room's upstairs. You've got to run up and downstairs to grab shoes for people. But it's like everyone's like, one of my friends climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, and I was like, I could not do anything like that. I would just like pass out. So on the 1st of December, I'm doing a sponsored fast, because that's something that I know that I will be able to complete. So I'm doing a 24-hour sponsored fast on the 1st of December. So if any of you want to sponsor me for that as well, I've got forms. I've got a form out there as well. And also, I've decided that obviously I want to keep everyone informed whilst I'm out there of everything that I'm doing up until like how I'm getting on and any prayer requests and things like that. So I've set up a blog, because I think it's a lot easier for me, instead of having to send out letters or emails to everybody, it's a blog where you can just go on the internet and have a little look and have a read of what I'm doing. So I've got some cards out there as well with a blog address on, so if anybody's interested, you can just take one of those away so you can have a little look on the blog and see how things are going. Yeah.
So are there any particular ways we can encourage you, obviously?
Yeah. Definitely, I just like lots of prayer is something that I need, because obviously South Africa can be quite a dangerous place, and obviously going into the townships is where I'll be working, which is, especially for a white person, can be quite a bit dangerous. But I've got no fear about it whatsoever, because I know it's something that God's put on my heart, and it's something that I feel very strongly about. But I know a few of my family members and stuff are quite scared of me going, but just my mum in particular, she's very worried. She keeps having little episodes, just oh no. But so yeah, just prayer for my safety and for the work that God's going to be doing through me whilst I'm out there, and for the children that we'll be working with, because they're in such, like, it's really quite hard to believe sometimes the situations that these children are in, and to think, like, if you compare them to how our children, like the children in England grew up and stuff, it's just so two completely different worlds. So it's just a lot of prayer for encouragement on that, like, for their safety and for them as well, and just, I guess, encouragement that I don't get too scared when I'm out there, because it is obviously a big step. Because my training like when I went to America, that obviously has prepared me for Africa, but it's nowhere near the same kind of thing that I'll be doing. So encouragement that I get the confidence that I'm not, like, I am very excited about it, but I am a little bit nervous at the same time, because it is a massive.
And how long are you going out for again?
6 months. So I'm planning to go in January until end of June.
And will you be coming back to Carlisle at the end of that?
Yes, probably because I won't have any money, so I'll be moving back in with my mum and dad. So yeah, but it's good though because it's free. Free rent. But yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Really lovely hearing from you.